Good morning, viewers of Lichfield Storytellers YouTube channel. This is Matt Hayward, one of the hosts, and this is my second little story for you. As I explained to some of my followers on Instagram, at the moment I am meshing this in with my dawn walks. So this is the second of my dawn ramblings. And this is a anecdote that was passed to me by a friend of my mum and dad, and it concerns my dad's life as a young man. I would also, just before I begin, like to dedicate this story to my friends and colleagues at St Em's, who are, as they always do, coming together in very difficult times and putting on a damn good show for everybody, the kids especially. So anyway, story about my father as a younger man, and it concerns him and two mates, a fella called Jeff and a man that I don't actually really remember him, to be honest with you, but he's remembered in the family as Uncle Paddy. And my dad, Uncle Paddy and Jeff were accustomed to, well, how shall we say, going out for drinks, darling. These days we'd call it going out on the lash, but my dad never went out on the lash, never, no. It was always drinks. And this was also before the time when, not before the time, but it was when the police were beginning to get very strict on drink driving. Now, can I just make this clear right now? I'm in no way trying to make drinking and driving seem a funny thing, but this, after all, is a story, and stories are stories. So please don't hold me to account for in some way encouraging people to go out, drink and drive. I'm not doing that at all. But anyway, in the early 1960s, before the breathalyzer came in fact it might be the 1950s, I can't remember because I wasn't alive, it was a custom for people who go and have a few drinks and they'd get in the cars and drive. And this concerns Uncle Paddy, who was been out for a beer with my dad and Jeff and was driving home. He was driving through Liverpool, on the outskirts of Liverpool, one of the suburbs, down a road called Smithdown Road. Now, I don't know whether you know Smithdown Road, but Smithdown Road is a long road. It's got Egbert Park on one side, I think, and this very, very long road is punctuated with traffic lights. And Uncle Paddy's driving down the road, and he'd had a skinful. Next thing he knows, police car overtakes him, pulls in front of him. Remember, they used to do that. They used to pull in front of you, not behind you. Pulled in front of him, flagged him down. Now, this was also before the times of what's now known as the breathalyzer. When I grew up, it used to be it was a bag, but this was before those. The breathalyzer hadn't been invented, so they put you through certain tests. And this is what the police now expected Uncle Paddy to do. Anyway, I'm going to stop the story there. I'm going to jump on, because Paddy was, we'll put it this way, you wouldn't take him on in an argument. He was very good at holding his own, apparently. And that's what he decided to do. He decided that he was not going to take this from these upstarts of police officers, and that he was going to have his day in court. Not only have his day in court, he was going to be his own defence. And so my story now jumps on a few weeks, and we're in the courtroom. And you've got the magistrate, you've got Paddy, you've got the bench of clerks, and you've got the two police officers who had arrested Paddy and charged him with drink and driving. So the police give their spiel, and Paddy stands up and he says, right, officer, I'd like to ask you a few questions, is that all right? And the officer says, yes, sir. So, the day in question, the 8th of November, 1950, whatever, he says, you do agree that at no point did I jump a red light, swerve around on the road. You do agree with me? And the officer said, yes, I do. You didn't jump a red light, and no, you weren't swerving around the road. He says, and when you stopped me and you asked me my name, did I not deliver my name and my address very clearly and very succinctly? And the officer said, yes, you did. Yes, you did do that. And when you demanded that I get out of the car, did I not quickly step out of my car and stand to attention like a good serving petty officer should do? And at this point, the policeman starts to feel a bit uneasy because he has to nod and say, well, yes, you did. You did do that, yes. And then finally, when you asked me to walk along the white line on the side of the road, did I not walk along that line, keeping straight all the way along there, turned around 90 degrees and walked all the way back without wavering from that white line? And now the police officer is beginning to look very uneasy. He says, well, yes, you did. You did do that, yes. And then, when you asked me, said Paddy, when you asked me to get into your Panda car, did I not go and sit in the back of that police car next to that lovely lady in the fur coat? And at this point, the officer looked him straight in the eye and he said, well, not exactly, sir. You did get in the back of the Panda car, but I asked you to get in the back of the Panda car next to the police Alsatian.